So, the correct state of clay is just before it gets leather hard. Leather hard, if you hold it up, it won't bend. It won't gravity won't force it down a little bit. When we were working earlier, right when we made this slab, when we picked it up, the slab kind of fell over really easy. So what you are looking for when you do this is right about here, where it holds its shape, but it's also still movable, okay? So have it here, it starts to fold down, but it's slower, okay? This is right where you want your clay to be, okay? This will make it really easy to bend around your mold without cracking, okay? But it'll also keep its shape, and all that hard work you did of cleaning up any imperfections in here, getting the shape accurate, is gonna stay, all right? So, all right, so once you've done that, what you wanna do is score the edges that you created when you cut your 45-degree angle, okay? Now, scoring is just making marks, scratches, about that thick into your piece. Now, what you are doing when you do this is you are creating areas in the clay where you are allowing other clay to sift in, okay? Now, when you join two pieces of clay together, if you don't score it, it butts up against each other, and in the kiln, it'll say, I don't think I want to stay together, and it will break. The only way to make two pieces of clay stick together is to turn them into one piece of clay. So what you're doing by scoring is you're creating an indentation on both sides of both pieces that you're putting together. You're creating marks that are going to allow the clay to fuse together and make a solid piece of clay. That way, when it's put into the kiln, it will not break apart, okay? So when you're making these marks, you don't want to go so deep that you're tearing your clay to shreds, but you want to go deep enough that when you add the slip, it can soak into these marks. Now, I like to go in one direction, and then I like to go back in the other direction, just kind of rough up the clay. This way I am 100% sure okay? Did it on that side. If I only did it on one side, the clay would still not form, okay? I would have one set of grooves, but the other side doesn't have any groove to fit into. So whenever you're putting two pieces of clay together, you have to score and slip both sides that you are gonna fuse together. So this is that other 45-degree angle that we formed. And like I said, I like to go back in the other direction. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add the slip on now because it's easier to work flat. Once we roll this in, there's going to be a curve to it. I may apply more slip later, but I find things are just easier to do before you start bending stuff. So if you wipe the slip on, you're taking away your score marks. So I tend to kind of pat it in, pushing my liquid clay into those grooves. Slip is the glue, the only glue that will stick clay together, because clay sticks to clay. Okay. There we go. All right. And sometimes I like to just come back and rough it up just a hair more, not like full on scores, but you know, just make sure I got those grooves in there for the clay to enter. Okay. Now you're going to take your mold, okay? Now, the only thing that we are doing with this mold is helping us get a curve and keep it round, okay? You can use anything about this size for this this size of slab to help generate your curve. I found both these laying around the house. Anything that you have that has a diameter about like this and is round, you may totally use. What you want to be careful with, if there is any things that could add an indentation into your clay, you want to make sure that you don't start your curve here, because when you get around to the connector of the water bottle here, you're gonna get kind of stuck. Same with the top of this breadcrumbs canister. This raised edge is gonna put an indentation. I would just go ahead and take it off, okay? But I'm gonna use the water bottle because it's almost perfect size for what I want. All right, I'm gonna come here. If when I slipped it, it stuck to the board at all, you know you can just come in with whatever flat edge you have to allow you to lift it up, okay? Now, it's gonna wanna crack on you, especially if it's any harder than what my clay is. So you want to go slow. Right here where it's curving is where the crack is going to want to form. So you keep your eye on that. If a crack does start to form, all you have to do is take your wet sponge and soften that up a little bit. That's adding moisture back into your clay. And then you can smooth it out and start to roll again. All right. But if you are slow in your roll, monitoring, making sure that it is not going to stick to the board, that it's not going to crack. Okay, roll, roll. Okay. That's a little bump, but it's not a crack. I might as well just get rid of it now, though, so that it doesn't turn into a crack. And I basically, okay, I'm going to stop there, okay, so that I can get my water bottle out. Okay, now what that did was it created the curve, the majority of the curve for me. All right, now I'm going to use my hand to allow the clay to bend where it didn't have the mold to help it. And I'm going to bring my two slipped and scored sides together and push those two seams upon each other. Now, the shape isn't perfect yet, and that's okay, okay? What we're worried about right now is just making that seam solid. We can always reshape it later. Make sure when you push the seams together, that you mold the seams together, that you have your hand in here supporting, because you're gonna find that it wants to break open again as you're pushing these two slipped and scored sides together. Okay. Okay, now that it's put together, I can start to refine the circular shape. Now this, because I use that mold, totally round, but it goes to a point. We have to get rid of that triangle form, because what's going to happen as it dries is that this seam is going to want to crack. It's going to want to pull apart. The more triangular that seam is, the more it's going to crack, right? So our job right now is to get rid of that triangle. Okay, get my sponge out, because more damp clay is easier to maneuver. We don't want it squishy because we don't want indentations in it. But if it got a little leather hard on us, all we have to do is dip our sponge in. Oh, look at this. This is a perfect example. Right here, see that crack starting to form? Okay, got to fix that before I do anything else, because that's only going to get bigger. It'll split all the way down here if I'm not careful. All right, so I just wet the clay around it, and use a little bit of pressure to move clay into that crack. Use the sponge to take care of it. All right, and now I stopped it before it went too cracky, and I should be good. It didn't make it all the way through the clay. Once a crack goes all the way through the clay, there's not much you can do. It's just gonna be a crack forever. So once you see one starting to form, you definitely have to resolve it. Okay, now I'm gonna work in halves for the most part, because I can't tell what's going on down here, but I can certainly look down my vessel to see if I am. Now what I'm doing with the sponge here is the same thing I did with that crack. I'm just kind of moving clay around to soften up that seam I created when I fused these two pieces of clay together. Okay, and I'm going to continue to do that. Okay, go up, move the clay around on both sides, the inside and the outside, to try to alleviate. Here, get on in there so you can see. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just kind of using my hand in the opposite direction to push in a little bit and using this using my hand to push in and softening up this way a little bit more, the inside. Okay, now when my sponge, you notice that I come into the water, when I dip my sponge into the water and I get all the moisture out, I squeeze the sponge. Here, I'll show you how to do that again. So when you put it in there, if you put it in this sopping wet, you're going to put too much moisture into your clay. So you want to wring all of it out before you start working with it. This will also give you a nice clean sponge to work with, which will give you a little bit more control. Now you can see just doing that a few times, I've gotten rid of that triangle. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over so I can look at the other side, because now I want to get the bottom and start seeing if I can make that round. Don't just pick it up. There's a chance that it has fused to the board underneath. The piece of clay that you just made is fused to the board underneath. So whenever you pick up clay, you want to twist it a little bit to get it off the board. Okay, look at that. I totally have a triangle there. So got to get rid of that guy the same way I got rid of the other one. So I'm going to start by putting my hand in and pushing from the outside, just like I did on the other end of my vessel. Okay, my sponge starts to get a little dirty. Clean it off, making sure to get as much of the excess water in as possible. Come into the other inside. Pushing in here, but also okay. Angle it so they can see the inside if you would. Like angled this way. There we go. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of pressure here and coming up, getting to the clean part of my sponge again, going up that seam, coming around. Anytime clay sticks to clay, so you got to make sure to clean that sponge off often so that you don't accidentally tear. Okay, come in with your hand. I'm taking my finger and just kind of fusing the inside together a little bit. Okay, and it looks as though we've done a pretty good job getting it round. Remember, don't just pull it off the board, twist it off the board. looks like we've done a pretty good job of bringing that curve all the way around, which is exactly what we want to do. Now, if you have to stop at this point, I'm going to teach you how to properly wrap your clay to keep your form stable. To keep your form stable. And we worked really hard on getting this round shape. We don't want it to go away. If you can do the next video, where you put the bottom on, feel free to do that also. You're going to basically do the same wrapping technique here as you, and if you have the bottom on, if you do the next step in the other video, wrapping is exactly the same way. All right, so get as many bags, okay? The bags on the inside are going to make it, or the piece of plastic or whatever you have to, are not only going to keep it so that it helps it from drying out too quickly, but it is also going to help keep its shape, right? Once we got it into a perfect cylindrical form, we want to keep that cylindrical form. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put even another bag in there because this is like a perfect shape and I don't want to lose that shape. So I'm going to put one more in. Okay. All right. Then you're going to put a bag over. Make sure it's nice and flat. Okay. Twist it off the board. There on your other side. Now you want your clay will be a little bit moist, so you can just use that moisture to attach the bag, have it cling so there's no air or very little air between the clay and the bag itself. Okay. Now I'm always worried, always worried that my stuff's going to dry out, because if it dries out and goes bone dry, I have to start from scratch, and that sounds, well, kind of fun, but also defeating. So I sometimes overwrap, but I would rather, come to this clay and have it be exactly in the same state that I left it than have it dry out, because once it dries out, there's nothing you can do. So you have to be very careful to make sure that you don't let your clay go bone dry, that it doesn't dry out, because then you won't be able to fuse anything else to it. It will only be what it is right now, and you will have to start over. So last but not least, sometimes I have some, let me pull that one off. So if I had tape handy, like some masking tape or some tape, I would put some tape right there, which I don't have any tape handy, but I'd put just a tiny little piece of tape there to make sure that this didn't open up. And then I would put one vinyl bag over it and wrap that and tape that to the bag itself. And that is going to be good until the next time you go to use it, which will be the next demonstration.